What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Comment Writers. We are a Kamen Rider review podcast. Today on the show, we're going to talk about Kamen Rider Gavv episode 36. I'm your host, Josh Meek, the Uber Geek, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Toby Tobes. How's it going, Toby?
Josh, I burnt my brand new Pogs, and the white smoke is billowing, and we have a new poopy episode Overlord.
That makes no sense to anyone but me. You're going to have to translate that Toby speak into human language for people.
I want you to translate the Toby speak. I want people to see that you're as broken as I am.
All right. Well, yeah. So Toby and I opened a box of Pogs on video. So you can sign up for the Patreon, patreon.com/thecommentwriters to see that, I'm sure, sometime soon. And the Pope Smoke has signaled that we have chosen a new series to watch on the Patreon. Of course, our time with Kamen Rider O's is coming to an end, and we need to replace that show with another show to watch. So, of course, we leave it up to democracy, Toby. We put the vote out for the people. Everyone who wants to can cast a vote for what we should watch. And yeah, do you want me to give the whole thing away, or do you want me to make people wait for the video?
I think the video will probably be out before this comes out. So might just break it all down.
Yeah, so if you didn't see it, then we put all the names into marbles. And if you haven't seen it, it's basically playing marbles, and they're running through a like Rube Goldberg-esque contraption to see which marble makes it to the finish line first. We ran 5 rounds of marbles with a whole bunch of names in it for the vote for who wins. And after 5 rounds, a really decisive victory when it all comes down to it, we will be starting Avataro Sentai Dawn Brothers coming up here soon. That is our next chosen show to watch, Dawn Brothers. Toby, people really like Dawn Brothers. It got 2 votes from 2 different people in the Patreon this time around, so it had a little bit of an extra chance to come out on top, which it did.
Yeah, so once again, the most voted for show by anyone that's a patron, free or otherwise. The most voted for show that everyone concurred on basically ended up winning, as I always hope, even though it'd be more fun if like Mystery Wildcard won. But it's kind of fun to see that like both years that we've done some sort of voting system now, like voting into random chance, it's still like the most voted for show wins. So part of that feels good. And especially with the marble system, Dawn Brothers in the final heat used 2 of its many marbles instead of just 1 to get points. So again, like that was huge for the new system for this year. When I vaguely looked into the show, I'm not going to do anything past I want to see the characters. I am glad it's a newer show, because in general, it seems like the Reiwa era stuff, now that I know the eras from Gozuger, the Reiwa era stuff all seems like up my alley, mainly, compared to some of the older shows. So I am excited the show's only from like 2022. So it's basically right before Boon Boomers.
Yep. Yeah, the 2022 Sentai, it definitely is a show, it seems like, where they really try some weird stuff. You can tell that just by looking at the main cast of characters for the Sentai. So I'm really interested to find out how they make all that work by having 2 CG characters on the team and how all that fits together. So yeah, my one, my knowledge of Dawn Brothers is that it has that crazy characters, the CG characters. And then the other side is that like people love it. Like the whole time that it was running, I know people were talking about how good it was and how awesome it was, and they were sad to see it end, and on and on and on. So hopefully we also like it.
That feels good that like, I guess everyone liking it vaguely makes me feel better. Like if everyone the whole time was like, oh, this is really good, this is really good. Because it seems like that was been on the shows that we really like Gozuger specifically now, Gavv in general, like the ones that keep the hype the whole time seem like they're actually better shows, which I guess kind of makes sense. But I have high hopes. And
if you have high hopes as well, or maybe you've already watched Dawn Brothers and you want to see what we think about it, you want to relive it with us, or maybe you're watching it for the first time and you want to go along on the ride with us, you can sign up for the Patreon. And you can do exactly that. Patreon.com/thecommentwriters is where you can find that. And so we'll be getting started on that pretty soon. We also are actively watching Gozyuger as well. So we'll be pretty Sentai heavy here for a little bit, watching a couple different seasons at the same time. And it's a good time. Yeah. So patreon.com/thecommentwriters, $3 a month gets you access to all the stuff that we've ever put out on the Patreon. And if you're not quite sure if that's for you or not, we do have some free options that are up right now. So you can go over to the Patreon. There's a pinned post at the top. You can see the first 3 episodes for free of all the series that we've watched so far. So there's plenty of stuff that you can watch. You can spend a whole day just burning through our free stuff. See if you like it. If it's for you, go ahead and sign up because we have a lot of cool stuff coming down the pike. And we hope that you are joining us for that. We hope you get access in the Discord too. You can talk to us and all kinds of nonsense. So patreon.com/thecommentwriters.
And then just to clarify, if you wanted to see the vote, if you never saw Dawn Brothers and you're curious how it works too, much like all the other series, however you're supposed to pluralize series, the first 3 episodes when we get to them will also be free. So you can dabble in the Dawn Brothers with us, and then like Josh said, if you like it, you'll have to pony up a little bit. You'll have to get on that express, but at least the first hit's free, like they always say. That's the
first
best one.
taste is free, kids. Then you gotta give us your dough.
Yeah.
If you want your fix, you gotta pony up. give me those dirty dollar bills, and I'll give you that illicit Sentai.
It's kind of great that like Gavv is like a metaphor for Patreon, really. It feels good that like we're on brand. Like you get your first Dark Confection, which is us doing a stupid video playing marbles, and then once you're hooked, you're like, well, I got to pay for this now. And you're right in there. You're right in there.
And that's when we convince you to go murder people. Right? I'm pretty sure I'm following the Gavv analogy correctly. This is what happens.
Depending on which side you're on, you're either the one that says, no, I won't pay. And if you eat more Dark Confections, I'll kill you. Or whatever the hell Shouma always says. Or on the other side, you just want to build your own empire and make your own Dark Confections too.
Sometimes you want to. Toby, I've been slowly dying over the past couple of days.
Aren't we all?
We are all. I've been having the world's largest allergy fit. So it's good that we're not doing a video podcast right now because I look like an insane person. My eyes are so red. I look like I have like double pink eye right now. I needed to paint that picture for you. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
everyone just imagine like if anyone ever. This is another old throwback. If anyone ever watched like Ren and Stimpy, whenever they did like the weird gross zoom-ins on the faces and it was just like overly disgusting for no reason, that's just Josh's face. Just imagine
pretty much,
Josh.
That's what I feel like. Yeah, that is incredibly accurate. Yeah. But I'm happy to be here with all of you now today, and happy to talk about Kamen Rider. Toby, we should do that. Let's do that. Kamen Rider. Today we watched Kamen Rider Gavv episode 36. We're plowing through these Gavv episodes at this point, and today's episode picks up after we had our first, really our first fight encounter with Lango last time around. Shouma busted out his crazy new form that involves a whole bunch of Gochizo getting destroyed all at once. But he wasn't able to really defeat Lango. And Lango, I believe I compared him to a Final Fantasy summon last time around.
He's doing all the magic.
Exactly. So our episode opens this time around with some fallout, basically, from that last show. Of course, a whole bunch of people in the world got disappeared to turn into Dark Confections. And Jeep is delivering the first of those treats that were made from those people to the president. The president he commends Lango on a job well done, but Lascelles is a little upset that he's not thanking her because she placed the order.
See, I thought even more than that. It was supposed to be a slight against Jeep, because he was like, here's all your stuff. And then the president was like, oh yeah, tell Lango he did a good job. Like I thought it was supposed to be more of like a brotherly slap than
Yeah,
or maybe both of them. Like they
I
both
think
got
both.
mad for different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for sure both. It feels very in character for Lascelles to be like, yeah, Longo, he did all the work, but I'm the one who told him to do it, so I get all the credit. That feels on brand for what I know about her.
That's good. That's good upper management right there. That's what you do.
Truly, yeah. I think in Jeep's sense, it was like his, part of his play here was like revenge on Longo, and with he's realizing, I think, here with this new president that like Longo is still getting the praise, and I think that Jeep thought that that wouldn't be happening. Like it was like, yeah, I put him in his place, I kicked him out, he's not the president anymore. He's not the head of this family anymore. It's like, no, he's still the one who's getting things done, and the president recognizes that. So I think it was a little bit of like a reality check for Jeep at the beginning
Oh
of the
yeah,
episode.
definitely.
Uh, and then we get a look over at our Kamen Rider boys. They're all beat up from the last fight, and they're hanging out in Suga's old stomping grounds. I guess in Rakia's new house. And yeah, they're putting their band-aids on. I thought that was pretty cute. It's like it opens on Shouma, I think, putting a band-aid on Rakia's face over his little spot he has.
I thought it was cool that like to use like the sound cues or like audio to help build the suspense and everything. Like usually the openings are at least a little happier ish, depending.
Sure.
But they had like good, like moody, like somber music. It's filmed like super gritty and grainy of like, yo, like we really got our asses kicked. Like that was a bad day. That's shit's going bad here kind of vibe. And we were talking about last week or like, hey, why do they only attack Japan kind of deal? Like this seems stupid. When they were showing people like the synopsis of like, oh, everyone at the airport got disappeared. Everyone here got disappeared. There's actually a map. I just noticed it now. There's a little like map on the TV screen, and it's literally just Japan. Like we've localized these attacks directly in Japan. I just thought that was extra funny that like they refuse to go outside of like the island, and no one in the world probably even knows about this.
Yeah.
Probably just like, oh, the shipping slowed down a little bit. That's weird, and that's just
Not even pretending that the rest of the world exists anymore.
as we
That's-
should.
Yeah, that's pretty great. The boys here are also talking about the fact that Rakia, used to be a part of the Stomach family, used to work with them, and that his toxin is what is being used to capture all these people. And he's feeling some guilt about that. We talked about it a little bit last time. He kind of brought it up, and really brings it up again this time. Shouma's got some like encouraging words for him, but it's cool to see, I think, a character. I feel like it'd be very easy for Kamen Rider to like hand wave away and make you forget that he used to be like a super bad guy for a brief time. But I like them bringing it up because it feels a little bit more real, right? Like he does have ties to this. He is sort of the cause of this. You would have this type of guilt in real life, so it's neat to see it in the show.
Yeah, like my main note of all this was just that it's cool that he's having a real human meltdown, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Like he's having the normal emotions about things. He's like, holy shit, I'm a huge chunk of why things are starting to go bad. And it's just cool from like the you suck, this sucks, I don't care shrug man is now like, wow, I've caused thousands and thousands of people to disappear, die, whatever. I still need to atone so freaking hard for this. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. And from like Shoma's perspective, it's like, oh well, you're doing the right thing now, so like that's what matters. And Hanto, for his credit, is not twisting the knife in Rakia or anything like that. Like he's being supportive, which is good. Hanto also here has the idea that they should spread the word on Granoots, that people should be prepared for the danger ahead of them, because right now there's rumors and stuff going around. But Hanto, being the journalist that he is, I guess, wants to give the information to the people so they can do what they will with it.
That's both responsible and a horrible idea. But
Yeah, totally. It is. It is. It's probably not the right thing to do from a, managing public panic, but it definitely is the like probably the morally right thing to do, and it's definitely the journalistic thing to do. So I thought that that was cool. Like Hanto is a journalist to the very end, and convinces the other two guys like they, you know, they have a lot to lose in telling the world about Granoots, but they both like I guess trust Hanto enough that they kind of nod, and he gets started on spreading the word. But
I mean, I guess out of it's probably that weird gap or separation too of just the fact of wait, like the person that actually lives here and is human is saying these are the emotions that we should have. So I think part of it is just like we are quote unquote like aliens here and this is his world. And if he says this is what we should do with it, we might as well do that because he has the best like idea or grasp on what actually happens here.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, they're both like um very new to figuring out how humans work, so they probably are they're probably deferring to him a little bit on that front too. The boys all split up. Shouma heads back to Happy Pare to meet Sachika. She's got some treats that she has bought for him. He is very excited, as he is every time treats come up, which is always good.
And then along with that, of course, when he does the 100 Go Chizo henshin down the road, just the base ass one. So we knew that was covered from last week when I made the joke of we saw him have two covered.
Yep.
But aside from that, now at least they dabble in it where she's like, hey buddy, here's two giant ass trash bags of candy. So I guess the assumption will be again, like, okay, we're doing it full off screen. We acknowledged that yes, there's a lot of candy. So I feel like it's safely handled now and not as hand wavy as it was. Like at least like they're showing no, look, he's eating more again, kind of.
Yeah, I honestly that's more of a scene than I thought we would get. Like I thought we would never even like concern ourselves with the fact that he needs a lot of treats to fill this thing up. But the fact that she's handing two bags over and they have like a throwaway line is like, oh, okay, all right, you're trying, I guess.
They heard the complaints and they're addressing them properly.
Yep, exactly. Rakia heads over to visit with Uncle Denti. Of course, last time he'd asked for an antidote for his toxin, and this time we find out that that'll take a little while because it'll take some time to make it safe for humans. So Denti's still working on it, but in the meantime, he's got something else that he gives them. He hands over kind of the box, and we don't get to see what's in it at the time, but we find out later. And then Hanto has begun sort of like spreading the word about Granoots, but he realizes that people are very confused about what's a Granoot and what's a Kamen Rider because of Bitter Gavv. So he sees a bunch of comments where people are very negative about writers, and he wants to hide it from Shouma because he doesn't want Shouma to get sad.
And I feel like this is one of the at least main times that stick out to me of I guess because it's done the whole digital age thing more, but it seems weird to have just full direct conversations of like, oh, we saw those monsters, we hate all these people, and I feel like it's usually just, oh, these monsters come terrorize the town, and we just localize it to a tiny thing and pretend like it never happened.
Yeah, their play of the internet has been iffy at best. Like, they've both like shown people talking a lot about the monsters online, but also like having no memory of that. Like you said, it's pretty isolated to their like little tiny area. And even though Sachika can like look it up and find people talking about it at any given moment, it doesn't seem to be widespread, or didn't seem to be widespread until now. So yeah, it's a little hand wavy, sort of how the internet works in this world and how social media works in this world. Shoma's plan at this point, Toby, which I find hilarious, is just walk around and try random doors to see if they're portals back to the Granoot world. That's the most Shouma plan that I can possibly imagine.
Yeah, I guess there's not a ton else that he could do. I'm sure there's like, if anything, like if it was me and everyone was like, oh, this person's garbage, this is this. I like the part of me says I would go online and argue and be like, no, he helps people too. But of all the things, I feel like Shouma had better ways to figure out where they lived. Because when they snuck over once, I feel like he just didn't like guess there was a door there. I feel like they just found the door. Or am I misremembering that part?
I think that they were tipped off about the door from Rakia, I think. Like he knew where it was because he used to be one of them. I think is what it was, if I remember right.
Definitely possible.
So they, however it was, they weren't just trying random doors. They specifically knew where the doors were going to be, either from Rakia or from following an agent. And I can't remember which one of those was, but it was something along those lines.
It was definitely a long time ago in Showtime.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a blur at this point.
While Show was out looking for a door, he runs into Jeep, and Jeep tosses him a note, and it's tipping him off basically to Lango's next target. And lo and behold, it's going to be the place where the horse band is playing. The girl we met last time, the super fan, is going to be there, and she's going to be watching the horse band, and that's where Lango is going to attack next.
Somehow, with all the stuff last week, I felt like we got past the horse band. I don't know why. I just felt like that angle was over. It was just like a preemptive, ha ha ha, funny conversation thing. I actually didn't realize it was still going into this week, and that was going to be like the show this time.
Yeah, I was also confused about that until it happens here in the show, because I thought for sure that it was a setup for like a fun little thing, and then it would have gotten canceled or would have gotten, shut down after all the disappearances last time. But I guess everyone involved with the horse band is super brave. No one's concerned, because the show must go on, apparently.
I thought it was awesome that when Laganine showed up in the little house and Sachika's friend was there, she was like, oh, who's the dreamy hunk? I just thought that was a funny nod of like, hey, this random like handsome boy walks in, and Sachika's friend's like immediately all over him with how pretty and brooding he is.
He is both of those things, and he dresses very fashionably as well.
Ladies love the hats.
They all try to dissuade this woman from going to the concert by telling her it's dangerous. And she gives this awesome speech where she's like, yeah, the band has really gotten me through some tough times, and I would go see him even if it was the last day on Earth. So, it'll probably be fine. I'm sure the Kamen Riders will save me.
And that part, like with the other conversation stuff, that part felt cool, where I definitely think that's the first time ever that someone ever addressed it as like, oh, if shit goes squirrely for me, I know there's heroes out there, so I'm not even worried about it.
Yep.
Like I of all the things we watched, I don't remember that ever actually coming out in such a way as a line of, hey, no, like, it's no big deal. Like I'm going to what's probably a trap and a murder hole. But if I go and it actually is a murder hole, like someone will save me. It's cool.
It's such a cool turn in this show, especially because, and they hammer this point home as this episode goes on, but like, the online sentiment originally is like people don't trust Kamen Riders, they get them confused with the Granoots, and then slowly as things happen in this episode, the tide starts to turn and people start being like, no, the Kamen Riders are good, and like figuring out who's who. And then we really, really hammered home because one of the commenters later on is literally the woman from like the first episode who, when Shouma henshins, she's like, oh my god, it's monsters. You're both monsters. You're equal monsters.
Yep.
She's the one to be like, oh, I thought about it. And he was the hero. He saved my son or whatever. So that was such a cool, complete turn of events where now, Shouma, he is seeing the fruit of his efforts and people recognize that he's not a monster and can distinguish. And the general sentiment is essentially what she's saying. I'm just like, hey, like we believe in the heroes. And that's neat.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because there's basically, like I made the joke, I think last week or a while ago, of it's very much like Boon Boomger's ending-ish of like, oh, the heroes are shitty, and then the children turn around on it and they're like, no, the heroes, they're really the heroes. Don't worry about it. It's this. And it's kind of the same swerve of like the heroes are the villains, quote unquote, and then the world rallies back around them. And it's just very cool. As dumb as it is, even when it gets reused, I just think it's a cool vibe of like, no, like the good people are good, and especially with Shoma's like life story there, or like his season arc, or whatever you want to call it. It was very cool that he got to have the wrap up of, hey, these are all these people I helped over the past 5, 6 months, and they do remember me. They all thought I was awesome. They think I'm a good
Yeah.
guy. I am doing the right thing. I am a hero, kind of thing.
It was genuinely very touching that the crux of this episode, the thing that Lango said to him last time of like, you should never have been born, like your whole existence is pointless. Then he gets actual tangible evidence that his existence has been meaningful over these past few months, where everybody he's helped rallies together and spreads the good word about him, is so cool from a character standpoint. Like, awesome that he gets that, that type of like lend me your power
Yep.
power up situation, because it's very much that it is the anime trope of lend me your power. But it works so well with this character who's been looking for meaning and looking for a place to belong, and trying to figure out, where he even stands in the world, and to have that happen, I thought was a cool justification for him getting his final form, which we'll talk about here in a bit. So yeah, we get through all that, kind of talking her out of a thing. It doesn't really work. So we move on from there. We get a little scene with Glotta. We haven't seen her for a little bit, but she's asking Lango, like, hey, is this really the right thing to be doing? And his answer basically is like, hey, we're kind of screwed either way. So, I'm trying to position us as best we can in this new world, essentially. He says that the dark infections were a means to an end, and they're, having to change the means at this point.
There was a good part of the conversation there too, where they vaguely addressed, because the whole show the whole time was, oh, the happy humans taste better as candy. We have to drug them and make them high, and then this is gonna be the best stuff. And at one point, Lango kind of throws a line in of, like, someone says, "Don't the humans taste gross this way?" And he was just like, "No, it doesn't matter anymore. Don't worry about it." Or, "No, we're over that. We're past that." Some nonsense. But it was just funny that, like, the only way that this would remotely work, as if we're believing this all to be a real thing and true thing, like, oh, sure, like the mass disappearances and murders of people probably would taste gross. It's like why people eat like cage-free farm fresh animals and not tortured ones, because in theory, like, the meat tastes better. And it's the same vibe of that, but now it's just gone of, oh no, if we make more people, don't worry about it. Like, just ignore the flavors at this point. It's just, they're just candy now. It's all good.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Sachika gets the guys tickets to get into the concert, and their plan basically is to hunt around the theater and try to find evidence of Lango. And while they're hunting, basically all of a sudden there are like these like red balls start shooting into the air, and so it's like they're gonna gas everybody.
They were gas bubbles. It was like, it looked,
Yeah.
because the show started ish, and like the bubble machines started blowing, and obviously we, the watchers, knew it was probably poison or something crappy. But if you were just there, it definitely just looked like it would have been like decoration or ambiance, I guess, whatever you want to call it, when they pop streamers at shows and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're thinking like, oh, this is cool. Like, what a neat vibe. Then we find out that the thing that Uncle Dente had given them was gas masks, which is so awesome. You assume it's going to be some sort of like power up for Rocky or something, and no, it's just gas masks.
Yeah, it's like the most human of necessity of just like, hey, cover your mouth, because, if they need to airize this, or whatever word that is, like, it's probably just going to be gas. Just get ready for gas. It's fine.
Yeah, it was smart for them to figure that out, that it was probably going to be gas based, and they were correct. So they're immune to all the gas, but and the other people aren't. So people start getting turned into presses, and fighting begins. We henchmen start fighting some agents, and Rakia takes some damage, But really, we get to the important part here, which is Shouma and Lango. We get the encounter happening once again. And once again, Lango tries to tell him, hey, you're not important. I'm not even going to waste my time here with you. But we have a reinvigorated Shouma at this point. He definitely has confidence that he didn't have in their last encounter. And he reminds Lango that, like, hey, you've told me that, like, I shouldn't exist since I was a kid. And back then, all I could do was kind of run and hide behind my mom. But now, I've got this power. I've got these people who back me. So it's going to be different this time, essentially.
His best quote in that was like, Lango kept saying, "You're a mistake. You're a mistake. A mistake." And Shouma hits him with, "Being born your brother was the only mistake I made." And like, I thought that was such a solid intro to the fight and everything that happens in the fight, where like Shouma had the perfect character arc culmination today of the past 6 months or 7 months, whatever we're actually at this point. Like, we basically saw this crazy little lost kid actually turn into like what we would actually consider a hero, like that, like the actual hero mentality of everything else. He got to drop cool quips. He got to be like, stand up to his bully and be like, "No, like, you're the one that's been the piece of shit the whole time, not me."
And then literally the world gets to cheer.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. A really, really awesome culmination of his character arc, kind of building up to this moment, aligning perfectly with the new form that comes out here. So it is the final form. It's the master mode, I believe is what they call it. And it's really, he henshined like the same way, like using the Gochizo pod. It's just now we have a different look for it when it comes out.
I think he actually flipped it upside down this time too.
Oh, I was wondering. I didn't go back and check, but was the pod right side up the last time?
I'm only gonna say I think so, because I feel like he made a big deal about what felt like turning it.
Okay.
So just my assumption was he turned it because it was supposed to be like, no, this is like the full power, I'm super locked in now kind of thing vibe.
Gotcha. That makes sense then. Okay. as a means of doing it. Everything he does in this powered up form is like obviously crazy over the top. He at one point slashes Lango across the face and actually like leaves a mark on the suit.
Yeah, like it cuts blood into the helmet.
Cool.
It was so cool.
Yeah, I'd never really seen that before, where they'd made one of the rubber suits like appear to take bloody damage, but that was really cool. And he's like I don't even know what to call it. Like the audio effects that they do on some of these moves are like crazy. It's like they are super loud, kind of clipping noises almost, and like just huge hits that they're making. It feels so impactful, especially the big final kick, because there's like a pause of the audio right before it happens, and then just like massive Lango gets demolished.
I thought of like at one point earlier in the fight, like his master form it's basically like it's a quick mode, but it's not a strong mode. So he does all sorts of crazy like air dashes, fast punches, everything else. And Lango's like, "No, like you're faster and you're doing better, but you're not strong enough still. Like you're overcompensating the wrong way." And the moment where Shouma realizes, "Oh, I can just fast switch between the two," and goes like literal full like Dante from Devil May Cry shit, was like my absolute favorite thing, where it was basically like a 4-minute beatdown, and instead of just lingering on one of his forms, he did the master form, he did the big beast-ish 100 Gochizo form, he had some Chakodan in there. Like he just fast switched between everything, because Lango couldn't stop all of it. He could stop bits and pieces, but because he was going so nuts, he kicked his ass. And it was just like the whole Shouma thing today was just the coolest arc ever of like growth and then evil brother murder. And I wrote the note that like I think the Lango death, because I think you said it, but if not, like master form Shouma has Lango's number, he kicks his ass, he kills him. I think like the Lango murder is like the best or most satisfying one like defeat of any of the boss people we have ever seen, or at least I've ever
Yeah.
seen. Like compared to other shows where it was like fun but a thing, like this one felt like extra meaningful because of how hard he had to work to do it and everything else. It was just super cool.
This felt like the fight you would have as your last episode. Like it was that crazy and over the top and like and meaningful from a storyline perspective, from like character arcs and stuff like that. It felt like the big huge final fight.
Yeah,
And we've got a bunch of episodes left still. So I don't know where they go from here, but yeah, I agree. It was the hype was real for this one.
like I think we vaguely said it a couple weeks ago now. Um, I guess this is obviously sealing that the president is the final big bad. But Jeeb's like
Or
beyond himself at this point of like he lost his twin, he lost his boss brother, he basically has Glada left, and then his new in-laws, basically.
yeah. Yeah, it's either the president or like Longo's not dead. I guess that's the other option. Because we see like the explosion, but like, we don't see a body. So we theoretically Longo could technically be alive if we really wanted to go that route. But uh speaking of Jeep and the reaction there, I thought that was a really interesting reaction because after Longo gets exploded, Shouma like dehensions and kind of falls to his knees like exhausted, and Jeep sees this happen and like kind of has like a little bit of a panic reaction. Um, I think that Jeep must have thought that Longo was gonna, or sorry, that Shouma was gonna get killed, and that Longo was gonna still be alive, and I think that Jeep maybe had some regret at the end, which was surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, obviously Longo always presented as the tough brother. For all Jeep knew, all the times Longo fought crappy little red Gavv, it was never a big deal. I'm sure the assumption was, oh, even if Shouma goes to fight him again, like he's just going to kill Shouma. It's no big deal. So yeah, definitely panic of, oh shit, did this actually just happen? What are we doing
Yeah.
here?
And then of course we talked about the form, but what are your thoughts on the actual look of the master form?
To me, it's basically his main one. It's just extra shiny. I think it just makes it like it looks slick for whatever reason. But it just looks, at least from my memory of what the old form was at this point, it just seems extra like glossed out, like holofoil style.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I really like the thing that I like the most about it is that the ears are so tall, if that makes sense. Like the ears that stick up like glow with light, and they're really really high, so it has a cool silhouette to it. But yeah, I really like the look of it. Like you said, it's very holofoil looking. It looks very sleek. A lot of times when you get to big final forms, they're bulky, but this one still looks like it can actually move, which is neat.
Even like my memory of um God Shards. No, God Shards was okay. One of the last seasons we watched, like it's got bulkier and bulkier, like kind of like
Yeah,
the UFO X version of God Shard. Like those kind of things just got kind of bulky and shitty. And this one just looks extra sleek. And obviously we know it's extra fast compared to other ones. So I guess that's obviously part of why they designed it the way they did. But it all just worked out really well.
yep, makes perfect sense. So yeah, Shoma, seemingly finishes the fight there with the brother. We do get to see Rakia's driver get cracked. So what are your predictions there?
I think he's obviously going to have some problems early, but then obviously they're going to fix it. I'm sure. I mean, like it's going to keep him out of a couple fights, I'm sure, to make it a thing of like Shoma's back by himself, maybe. But we know Dente's good, so Dente can obviously fix it, or maybe it'll be the option of I can fix your driver or I can fix the chemical problem, but I can't do both. So maybe
Mm.
maybe Rakia is going to take this time to be like, you know what, I shouldn't be a rider because I did these bad things, or some mix of that, or who knows.
Well, I hadn't thought about that, but I think that I like that as an angle. Like it gives. it might give Rocky a chance to be selfless and put others first and really prove that he's changed. Yeah, I could see that being the thing.
He's gonna make his sacrifice.
He might be what's the Creed? Creed's the band that has My Sacrifice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he could be Creed and do his sacrifice. But overall, Toby, I think strong episode here. I really enjoyed everything that I saw.
Yeah, it was Shouma's full arc circle, whatever. All those kind of things in shows always make me super happy and like giddy of it's a real thing. Like we did it kind of deal. The one last little thing was they finished the concert at the end. They all go to talk to Sachika's friend, and she was like, "It was the best concert ever." Yeah, like somehow I passed out and I woke up in a different seat. I must have partied too hard. And then there's like a pause while they're talking, and she's like, "I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty sure shit went bad, but that just means the Kamen Riders came and saved me like I thought they were going to."
Yeah,
And I thought that was just like one last awesome final like wink and a nod of, no, see, I was right. Like they are heroes. They had me no matter what. There was nothing to worry about.
Yep, totally. Jumping over to the producer's blog, just briefly. There's a couple little tidbits about the new form. It's mostly things that we were already just saying. But Master Mode, they say, is a form that specializes in speed to make up for the weakness of Over Mode, which specialized in one-hit kill power. In episode 36, Master Mode overwhelmed Lango with its blinding speed, and what's more, it's powerful enough to be able to switch between Master and Over modes during the fight to make the most of the strengths of each. So exactly as you said, that he can toggle back and forth, and that's really what won it for him.
Like, and even with that suit thing too, I appreciate the fact that they make it into a thing where like he keeps touching his driver, like he keeps either smacking the button, cranking the handle, turning the Gochizo pod up and down, and it's just a little extra piece of. It's not just a magic thing that he's doing by himself. He's quick enough and he's learned enough now where he knows how to do this. Like he knows to like smack the little buckle to go beast mode, throw the punch, and then turn it back upside down to go fast mode again and dash out of the way. And I think this is the first time they made it dramatic for a long time. But after he won the fight, all the Gochizos flew to heaven. And they actually showed like 20, 30, 40 Gochizos flying at the screen, like waving goodbye, their little angel wings going, everything else. So that was just fun too, of like, this was a big deal. We're going to acknowledge that once again, like in the beginnings, Gochizos died singularly. And you see like the little guy fly up, and we kind of got away from that for a long time. But this was almost like to use the bad show, like when Ankh waved goodbye kind of deal. Like, my power's over, I'm going to say goodbye to you guys from beyond. Or lots of movies and TV shows have like the angelic figures kind of looking over and winking and being like, "You did it, kid. You did it." This just feels like a perfect wrap up for that too. Of like, we're gonna acknowledge the Gochizos one last time, but like they were happy because they helped defeat Lango, their shitty brother. They protected their friend. It was just like a nice like wink and nod of, yeah, this was a real thing too. Like they all gave their all so that Shouma could do this kind of deal.
Yep. Yeah. Their contribution mattered.
Yeah, exactly.
Then they all died. And you're totally right about the gachapod being upside down. That's also in the producer's blog here. They say that the gachapod is engraved with the words "over" and "master." The toy design was extremely difficult, but Bandai came up with a novel idea where it has basically two modes. It has the over mode and the master mode, and you flip it over for each. And the face, when you open it, basically the face is reversible. So like it looks like eyes and a mouth and nose and stuff from either direction, which is pretty clever. Like it has a different face, but it looks like a face in both ways, which is cool.
So would the toys have come out, like arrived in people's hands after this episode? or do people get the toy before the episode and realize they can like flip the toy around and make it do the secondary thing?
Yeah, I think people have all the toys and stuff like way before they're in the show.
That's interesting.
Generally.
Then if someone like figured out it said something different, or maybe this is just a TV show specific thing, but I feel like they always try to make everything match up so it gets as close as possible. So now I'm interested in the timeline of this release.
Yeah, people probably knew that this was a separate, a reversible item from the toy. So yeah, if we had kept up with spoilers, which we try to avoid, we probably would have known.
Okay,
that's how it worked. The producer's blog talks more about the concert with the horse band. There's some good behind the scenes pictures, and once again, as always, we had the TTFC crowd filling up the stadium. It sounds like in this case it was winners of some sort of like a raffle from the TTFC who were able to come and be in the audience.
I thought it was kind of interesting too, where they put everyone to sleep, and there wasn't a ton of fighting in there, but they still did the fights in the aisles next to between the people.
Yeah,
and it seems like, I'm sure they were safe about it, but it just seems like one of those things where like one off roundhouse kick or someone falls the wrong way and you like fall into someone and like elbow some random fan in the face that's obviously doesn't have their eyes open and isn't paying attention kind of deal. That's just kind of crazy to me.
It is kind of crazy. It's a really cool visual though. Everyone is passed out and then we have like 4 actors or so running through and fighting in the building. I think that's a cool look.
Oh yeah.
Especially when the staff stand up and start capturing people. It's like, oh yeah, this is nuts. All of these people, all these humans are basically just props at this point. But yeah, that's kind of the most of the stuff that's in the producer's blog, and I'll say I think that's probably our take on this episode.
It sure was.
Toby, why don't you tell the people where they can find you on the internet?
On Twitter, it's Life of Tobes. On YouTube, it's Tobes Plays. And on Retro Achievements, it's Tobes Plays as well.
As for me, I'm on Blue Sky at meek.lol. And the show is also on Blue Sky as well at commonwritersucks.com. Of course, we do have the Patreon. We hope you check it out. Patreon.com/thecommentwriters. For $3 a month, you get access to all the shows that we are watching. You get access to the Discord, all kinds of fun stuff there. You can check out the free version to see if it's something you might like before you decide to sign up. And also, we have an email address, cast@commonwritersucks.com, if you want to send us in an email. And if you sign up for the Patreon and get in the Discord, you can also ask us questions over there in the episode questions channel. So lots of ways to get in touch with us and get in contact with us and make it on the show here. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for us for this week, talking about episode 36. We'll be back next time to see what goes down in episode 37 of Gavv. But in the meantime, we hope you have a great week, everybody. Peace.